how do you only look at the ones you selected? That again, if you're looking at results and you want to just see some of those listings from results, you'd go to your refine button bar, you'd narrow, and now you're only seeing those 4. And if you want to see them in the full display, you go to the full display, and then you can look at those 4 in any display you want. But if you have them narrowed, you're only going to see the listings that you have narrowed down to. That answer your question, sir? Yes, ma'am.
So the comment about the back button, that it will wipe out your search criteria, does it save on your recent searches?
Shh.
Oh,
She didn't ask any questions. She didn't ask any questions at all. Any other questions about searching, emailing, printing, saving, everything but recent searches?
I guess that was.
Yes, sir, way in the back.
When you're sorting in that single line view there, can you do a compound sort? Like
If you want to sort, I normally don't talk about this because most people don't, and I try to give you not everything so you don't get confused. But what the gentleman's asking is, I want to do a multi-level sort. I don't want to just sort by price. I want to sort by city, and then I want to sort by this, and then I want to sort by price. That just happens to also be on the refine button bar. It's right here all the way to the right on the refine button bar. And if you hit sort, you can sort by as many layers as you want. You tell it what I want it to sort by first, then this, then this, then this. So yes, you can do as many different level sort as you'd like. And again, that's on the refine button bar all the way to the right. All right, let's get into map searching. How many people search by drawing shapes on the map? I love it. All right, let's start a new search. And the first thing I do is go right here to this link, map search. Now when you first go to your map, this is the way it's going to open up, showing you the whole MLS area. When you get in here for the first time, take it to the part of town that you typically work in, the way you want your map to open up. Set it the way you want to see it. And then come over here to your gear and set that as your default. From then on, when you go to the map, it'll open up the way where you work, the part of town. You can always move it for any given search, but your initial view will be the way you want to see it. Question?
Yeah. Sometimes searching by map only, information's only as good as people have put it in.
The information searching by map, and that's why I showed you all how you can check and fix your properties. Searching by map is only as good as the way it was plotted. So
Right, 'cause
if it was,
people don't do the map correctly and they'll put the
well, the
house
first
in the wrong town.
The first slash at mapping it is done by Microsoft presently. Sometime after the beginning of the year, we're switching over to Google Mapping, which is actually better, so that will solve some of that. But every listing agent has the ability to fix where it's mapped. If it's not mapped right, I hope I don't get yelled at from the board, but if I found a property that isn't mapped right, I'd inform the board so they can get it fixed. Now, personally, I would contact the agent first and try to communicate with them, but if they're not interested in fixing it, then I would report it that it's not mapped
That
right.
is, it's not going to come up in your search.
That's very true. If you're doing a map search and it's mapped wrong, that's what I was saying earlier, if you do a map search and it's mapped wrong, you're not going to pick it up because all it's looking at is the map location, the longitude and latitude. And my mic just went out, so can you hear me well enough in the back? Yes, ma'am.
Right now, it cues you when you put the listing in. It asks you if you mapped it correctly. Will it won't do that?
It doesn't do that.
You have to press the button to map it, so you're going to see where it maps.
It used to ask you that in ML Exchange a long time ago, but Fusion does not ask you that. But you do have the ability to do it in Fusion.
It does prompt you something, doesn't it? It says
No.
We could add a warning message if the board wants us to that pops up whenever you save it saying, did you check the map location? We could add something like that if they ask us to. Yes, sir?
So when you're searching by the map, right now we've got the ability on the left-hand side to put a criteria in. I only want it in this town, I only want it with this
Hang on,
square foot
I'm
and
getting
this
there.
price range.
I'm getting there. Yes, ma'am.
So one of the problems with the existing system is if you're listing land, and the land does not have a physical address, so we all tend to put zero Beavertail, zero Smith Road, zero whatever. Even when you try and set it, and I've had this happen on multiple occasions, even when I've gone in and mapped it and put it in the correct location, it ends up defaulting to wherever zero is on the map based on what the numerical sequence of a given street is.
Okay, let me show you something here. Let me go into this other system. And you see right here, it has latitude and longitude.
I did that.
There's all kinds of free apps. You're shaking your head, you didn't even hear what I'm saying yet. There's all kinds of free apps for your phone that you can be standing in this piece of middle of nowhere. And you can click it, and it's going to say, this is the longitude and latitude that you're at. So then you could, instead of going in physically like I moved the pin, you could go and put the latitude and longitude to where it actually is and click update map. Because if you're in a new subdivision, the map may not even have the streets and stuff. But if you put in the actual latitude and longitude, it's going to put it exactly where you were standing.
And it will do, because I tried latitude and longitude with the old system. And it didn't work.
Matrix, it works. I can't speak about Fusion anymore, but that's why we're getting rid of it. Because Matrix is the cure-all. Okay, back to map searching. So once you get the map set the way you'd like to see it, go to your gear and set that as your default. That way you won't have to move the map every time you go in. You can always move it for any given search, but your initial view will be the way you want it. There's three different shapes. There's the circle, the rectangle, and the polygon. The circle, what's good with the circle I like, is let's say my client told me this is where they're going to work. So I click. And they want to live within 2 miles of their office. I can go out 2 miles, click, and it'll set the shape. So the circle, you click to start, you click to end. Rectangle works the same way. You click to start, you draw the shape however you need to define your area, you click to end. It'll set the shape. Polygon is multi-sided, as many points as I need. I could follow this road, I could follow this riverbank, because every time I click, it's going to set the shape. So I could click, I didn't do a good shape. Click there, come over here. I can make a little ziggity zag. I can do whatever I want. Come down here, come over, come in, come out. Do whatever I want, because every time I'm clicking, it lets me change direction. When I'm done, I can go back to that original dot and click again to let it know I'm finished. Now the reason I drew this shape over top of these other shapes is because my client told me this is where they want to live, but they don't want to live along that highway. It's too noisy, there's gas fumes, everything else. So I can go to the dot associated with that shape, and I can exclude that shape. Watch what happens to the listings inside of there when I exclude.
Nice.
They go away. Oh, come on, guys, that's really cool. There is not another MLS system that you can do that. You know what? I think some of you aren't getting it. Hang on. Hang on a minute here. My client also told me their mother-in-law lives right here, and she can walk 3/4 of a mile. I can get rid of the listings for them. They can show Mom the listing, go, Mom, we really wanted to get closer, but there wasn't anything. Huh? Pretty cool. But you guys, you get the idea, right? Your client tells you this is where they want to live, but your client tells you, you never tell your client, there's a couple pockets in there that they don't want to live in. So you can take them out. Or you're doing statistics on this area. But because you're an expert, you know that there's a gated community in there with $1 million homes that's going to throw off your stats. You can mark it and exclude it so it doesn't throw off your stats. Now that I've got my shapes identified, I can go back to criteria, like this gentleman asked. I've got 126 listings, but my client told me they can only afford between 100 and 125. That takes me down to 10 listings. So the shapes you drew on your map and your criteria work hand in hand. I could have put my criteria in first, and then when I went to the map, it would only show me the listings that match. I like to do it this way because, I only have 10 listings. But if I go to my client and I say, if you went up to 150, I would double your matches. You'd be up to 23. So you can do it in either order though. And now that I've got all my criteria in, I can go to results. I can do whatever I need with them. I have the same reports. I have the same button bar. I can go over to save and set it up for auto notification, whatever I need to do.
Maybe Russia and definitely.
Any questions about map searching?
I kind of like that one, because if you had a dump somewhere, right, and you want it to be outside of the dump, that's a nice feature.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matrix is the only one that's got it. Pretty cool. Okay, this is the part of class that everyone always gets happy. Because when I say this next word, you're all going to go, oh, thank goodness, it's almost over. There's one other way to search. It's called the speed bar. You made it to the speed bar. The speed bar is located right here. It's in the menu system. It's been on the top of your page all day long. In the speed bar, you can do things like type in MLS numbers, 113114 and 11372220. I'm putting spaces between them. You could put commas. If I type them right, I should get 3 results, and I do. The speed bar is also where I would go is if I'm sitting on desk duty and someone calls, hey, I'm sitting in front of 20 Ocean Heights, I don't know how it's spelled, so I'll use an asterisk. Sitting in front of 20 Ocean Heights and there's this big for sale sign in front of it and I want to know how much it is. Well, there could be that big for sale sign in front of it that the agent hasn't gone out and put the sold rider on. Or they haven't gone out and pulled the sign because they lost the contract. If I went to a residential single-family search and looked for active listings, I wouldn't find it, right? From the speed bar, it'll find it. Or they might be sitting in front of that nice single-family dwelling and don't realize there's a driveway that goes in the back and it's actually multifamily. I'd never find it looking in residential single-family, right? Speed bar will find it. It's an all-status, all-property type search. So when I hit enter, it's going to bring back any time that listing, that property address has been on the market. So there it is. There's my active. I can tell them it's 7,595,000. So if it was a lot, piece of ground first, it would show me the lot type thing. Anytime it was on the market. Then you get that call. You all know that call. Hey, how much is that White House 2-story house on Diamond Hill? Or the house with the red door? What are you going to do? You're going to go to the speed bar. And you're going to type in, I'm looking for actives. I only want single family on Diamond Hill. Right? Diamond Hill, yep. Hit enter, there's the actives. So I switch it over to the full display. I go, oh no, that's not 2-story. It's definitely not white. Oh, you mean the White House with all the shutters and on the bottom right it's got a deck and everything? Yep, that's the one. Okay, it's $399,900. Pretty cool. You like my speed bar?
Love it.
Yeah.
See, you guys are you're so anxious to go, oh yeah, that was really cool. Can we go now? That's nothing. That is nothing. Watch this. Watch this. I'm looking for active single family in zip code 02818 that are between 300 and 500,000. There's 36 of them. Not impressed, huh? All right, I only want ones that have 4 or more bedrooms, 3 or more baths. Still not impressed. I only want ones that are between 2,500 and 3,500 square feet. I'm down to 3.
How about 10 acres of land?
How about, huh?
How about 10 acres of land?
10 acres of land, I can put it in.
Can you put it in?
I can put it in. Now that information I put in, I could have put in any order. I could have put in except for beds and baths. Beds has to be first, followed by baths. But I could have put beds and baths in the beginning. Then I could have put the price. Then I could have put active. Then I could have put any order I want. I could have put city, put the city name in instead of the zip code. But how are you guys going to know what you can do in there? You're not programmers. How are you going to know what you can do? How are you going to know what you can do? Question mark. If you hit the question mark, it's going to tell you what you can do by default in there. Like I said, I could have put the city name. I could have put acres. I could have put acres. This is what you can do by default. And remember, you have that speed bar on your phone. How easy would that have been on your phone? Now, that's what you can do by default. But each of you can create up to 10 of your own speed bar shortcuts. Like I created one, I'm pretending I have a lot of people that want a pool. So I created one, I called it /POOL. So do any of these listings have a pool? That one does. Question?
Yeah, we got a question here. Do you have to have bedrooms and bathrooms in
You
the speed
don't.
bar?
If you only want 3 bedrooms, you could just put 3+.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to show you how to make your own speed bar shortcuts in just a second. But before I do, the speed bar is more than just for listings. Have you ever been out on the road, out in your car, and you needed to call another agent, and you didn't have their number? So you call the office, you have somebody look it up, you scribble it down on a piece of paper, and you call them. You've done that? Not anymore, because you have your speed bar on your phone, right? So in your speed bar, you can type in AG for agent. I know her first name starts with a C, so I'm going to put C asterisk, and her last name's Smith. Oh, there it is, Carol. And we all know how our phones work, right? Hey, Carol, this is Willie. Pretty slick? Or I just got that offer. My client just signed that offer letter. I need to rush it over to the listing broker, but I don't know where he is. I come over here, I go OFF. I know it's a Coldwell Banker. I'll type in Coldwell asterisk because I don't know which one. If it ever gets confused, it'll ask you, do you mean office name Coldwell or do you mean street name? I mean office name. Oh, there it is. It's the one on Washington Square. That's right. I better give him a call, let him know I'm on my way. Liking my speed bar, aren't you? Glad you didn't leave early, huh? All right, how do you create your own speed bar shortcut? You start with a brand new search. I always hit clear because sometimes I might be looking for a sold listing or a rental listing. So I'm going to hit clear. Then I put in whatever criteria I want my speed bar shortcut to be. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, let's say I have a lot of people that want to live on the water. They want fronting water. So they want to either be Freshwater front, so ocean front, they'd be okay with that, so I want to hold down my control key. Oh, they like salt water too, so they just want to be fronted on the water. So I only put in my criteria. Your criteria might be master down. A shape on the map might mean something to you. So you could draw a shape on the map and make it a speed bar shortcut. So all you're going to put in is what you want your speed bar shortcut to be. And then you go to results. And I didn't show you before, but down here on the save button bar, you have new speed bar shortcut. If you click on that, you see this slash there? If you can't see it, there's a slash here. Do not take that slash away. That's what defines it to the system as a user-defined speed bar shortcut. Leave that slash. And then call it whatever you're going to remember. Water, or WF. And then save it. Now I have a speed bar shortcut for water. So now I'll come over here, I'll say I'm looking for active listings, single family, that are on the water, that are between 200 and 300,000. There's 10 of them. I only want ones that have 3 or more bedrooms because she wanted to see just bedrooms by itself. There's 6. Yes, ma'am.
If you don't put in active listing, what comes up?
It'll show you any listing that's ever been in the system that meets that. So there it's got sold, it's got a pending, withdrawn, whatever.
So do you have to go, I saw you saw AA, which is active, right?
Uh-huh.
What about AN? We have an AN active new. We have to put that in.
Those are all AA.
Okay.
Those are all AA. Yes, ma'am.
Out of curiosity, the historic data, are we still at 7 years back, or are we going further back?
I have no idea. We typically do not delete any listings.
We have all data back to 95 when we came online.
1995, your data,
It was, a lot of it was all uploaded as a chunk. So like some of it may be dated 05 because that's when they did a big conversion, but it's data that goes back to when we came online and that's not gonna change. That's all coming over.
yeah, we never delete data.
Right now, that's not the case, right? We can only-
No, we get it all, but it's a lot of it, you'll see a date of 05 on it because that was a day that a lot of it was brought over.
All right.
But it does actually go all the way back to
Okay,
when we came
yeah, because
online.
I had checked one of my personal properties that was in 2000, and it never came up on the system.
It didn't come up at all, even with a later date on it?
I'll double check because I can't answer that.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So if your client isn't fussy about how many bedrooms, but they want a property that's at least 2 baths, 0 space, 2+?
No, I think if I put 2 plus BA, I think that'll work. Yes. If you use BA or BD, you can specify. If you're doing bedrooms by itself, you don't need the BD. But if they only care about baths, you could put BA. Yes, sir.
So you've modified the speed bar, so now you can't do what you were doing before. Is there a way to go back to the speed bar being regular or no?
He was gonna save this speed bars.
Right, but right now the speed bar's at the top, right?
Speed bar is always at the top.
It's always there.
So if you wanted to just do a general search without the waterfront, where's the other speed bar? 'Cause this is a new speed bar, right?
You have to go back.
I have that criteria in. If I no longer want the waterfront criteria, I can just take that out and hit enter again, and now I'm over 5,000, because it's showing me everything, not just waterfront. So this is your speed bar. This is criteria. So if I take away a piece of criteria, it'd be like going to the criteria screen and erasing it.
He created a shortcut that's to be used in the speed bar. So that waterfront,
Oh, I
that
see.
pool, that was a shortcut to be
I got
used
it.
in the speed bar.
Yeah, because now that I took that out,
Yeah.
if I put AA back in here, now it's showing me only active listings that are between 100 and 200. It's not looking at the waterfront anymore
it.
because I put the /WA
Got it.
off of there.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes, ma'am.
Are the shortcuts in there standard for the whole United States, or are they governed by the local MS?
The speed bar shortcuts are different because like most places, instead of SFM, it's RES. So they're different depending on the association. Some of them, beds and baths, price, square feet. About the only one that might be different is your statuses are different in different states, your property types.
Right now, Matrix requires the full name of the city or town.
If in the speed bar?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it possible for the MLS to change that to the 4-character we have for each city and town in Rhode Island instead of all the whole name?
They can check. They could check, but that, I think it would have to be one way or the other. So that means everybody would have to know those 4 characters. So I think it's easier with the proper name of it because everybody knows the name of it. Like a new agent that comes in, they're not going to know what that 4 letters are. So I would recommend, me personally, leaving it as the name. Yes, ma'am.
Any chance that Mass MLS is going to...
Different MLSs, that's totally up to the boards. I would love everybody in the country to be on Matrix. But that's, each association gets to make their own decisions. And before, just for grins, what do you guys think of the decision your board made? Pretty nice, isn't it? Pretty nice. I have one more thing to show you, but before I do, does anybody have any questions about anything in Matrix? Yes, ma'am. 40 pictures. 40 pictures. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have, not really a shortcut, but for AA or BD, do you have a sheet, or is there anywhere to find all that?
Anywhere to find it? Right here on the criteria screen, it shows you what the different statuses are.
Yeah, but like BD, bedroom and all that, is that there?
That would be in the question mark. All right. The last thing I have to show you. I have not saved a search all day long. Matrix automatically saves every search that you go to results on, to answer your question. And it saves your last 50 searches or your last 7 days, whichever's less. So if you're a normal realtor, you do 4 or 5, maybe 6 searches a day, it'll save a whole week's worth of searches. They're located right here under recent searches. So if I click on recent searches, here's the search I have pulled up right now. Here's my oceanfront, there's my Colwell, there's my Smith, my Diamond Hill. So all the searches we've been doing all day. Let's go back to that first search we were looking at, that we did all the work on. Look what it did. It took me back exactly where I was. I still have my 4 listings checked. This is great for if you're working on something and you have to make a phone, you have to look up somebody's number or you have to run another search. You just go to your recent searches, go back to where you were and pick up working.
Is that on the device that you're searching on, or is that on your...
On your login. So if you were at your office and you did a search, and then you're out on the street driving around with that person you did the search for, and they say, what else was on that results? You go to your recent search, you can go right back to where you were and show them what the results were. Yes, ma'am?
Does that update into what's active now?
Yes, it's going to rerun the search using that criteria. Or how about this? You were on desk duty this weekend, on Sunday. Somebody came in, you ran a search with them, you talked to them for a while, you printed out some listings and they left. They call you back today, 5 days later, and they say, I really enjoyed working with you on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it was. can you set me up for that email thingy that you realtors do that'll send me updates? You go, oh, I don't know, let's see. Go into your recent searches, view all 50, go all the way back to Sunday. Now, of course, I can't because I run a lot more searches, but you could go back to Sunday and go, oh yeah, I think this was this one here. Yep, that was the one. Let me check. Let me look, make sure. Yep, they had a mother-in-law. Yep, that's the one. So now I can go to save, new auto email. All right, buddy, what's your first name, last name, and email address? Hit save, and they're set up for auto notification. Pretty cool, huh? I saw a couple more hands. Yes, ma'am?
I'm just concerned about the people who are getting the auto notifications and they're used to seeing it one way and now they've got a portal.
They're gonna love it.
Is it really I can't see the screen very well, so is it really self-explanatory?
It's not only self-explanatory, but right up here in the top right corner of the portal, if they click on help, let me make sure they fix this. Click on customer portal help. Yeah, I need to have them fix that. There's actually a video that they can watch that shows them. It's like a 5-7 minute video that'll actually show them how to use it. But it's really, this is the same type of functionality that they're doing here. They're used to doing on Zillow and all these other sites. They'll pick it up quickly. But with accurate information, correct. Didn't I see another hand? Yes, ma'am.
When we do a printout now, we can do a summary 4 up. Do you have something that is similar to that?
We do not have a 4-up, but, what am I on here? Let me go back. Where am I? Okay. Forgot where I was for a second. Ah! Do I have any selected? Let me select some. You can also use your shift key to select. On the print, under print, you have down here 3-up comparison. If I click on that, print it to PDF, it'll show the listings 3-up on a page and compare the information between them.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Will it show them on a map too? Like if you're printing out 6 properties that you're going to show to somebody, so you do the MLS sheet and you want to show a map with them, the 6 properties on it? There was, Fusion didn't have it, or it.
You mean like that?
Let's have a workaround.
You mean like that?
Yep, yep.
Sure does. It's called multi-map view.
Multi-map view?
Yep, under print.
What was that?
Multi-map view. Down here on your list of reports, multi-map view. All right, I know Bev has something to show for commercial. Last chance for questions, guys. You're the last group. And then I'm out of here. So we got another question?
I just want to say, it looks like you guys have thought of everything as far as I can see.
We tried. That's one thing with CoreLogic, the new CoreLogic with Matrix, is all of the enhancements, all of the changes to the system come from you guys. We hold two user group meetings a year, one in June, one in November at NAR that we invite all of our customers to, and that's where our input comes from. That's where the input comes for what needs to be in the MLS. Yes, sir?
So this recording will be where?
Huh?
How do we access this recording?
The staff, they'll let you know where it's going to be available, the recording. Thank you very much, guys. She has some commercial stuff.